Hello and welcome to Red Devils Live. My name is Anton Brooks and here we'll be talking about all things Manchester United. This is episode number 1 of a weekly podcast that I'll be bringing to you guys, and hopefully in the future we will have a guest or two to feature on the show. Now we'll be talking about a few things today, covering the Champions League match against PSG, the next match against Liverpool, and a few other things surrounding the club. Now we're going to start off with our Champions League tie against Paris Saint-Germain at Old Trafford tomorrow night. And there is a fresh injury update coming from the French side. Obviously, Neymar was set to miss the match anyway. Edinson Cavani has a hip injury and is very unlikely to feature against us tomorrow night. As Thomas Tuchel said, that there's a slim chance of him even making the bench tomorrow night. He picked up the hip injury against Marseille on the weekend. Obviously, that's good news for us, bad news for them, but part of me wanted him to play just so we could see the ultimate test that Solskjaer would have to come up against. And Thomas Meunier is also injured, their right back, who we have been linked with in the past. He's a very good right back and he will also be out, which means youngster Kara, I don't know how to say his name properly, or Diaby will probably have to fill in the wide right position. Also, the fact that Cavani is out means that former Stoke player Eric Choupo-Moting will probably have to play up front or on the left or right, depending on where they're going to fill in the position, alongside Angel Di Maria and Kylian Mbappe. Now, the first question I have for me to answer is, do I think that we can progress? Now, I think, is the best time for us to play against a team like PSG because of the form we're on, because of the confidence we have in the general well-being around the club, and the fact that a top-class striker in Cavani and a top-class defender in Thomas Meunier, they are both out along with the world-class talent of Neymar. I think it really puts us on a pedestal above PSG. We still go into the match, we still go into the tie as underdogs, but those injuries just mean that we should go in with even more confidence of progressing. Because when we drew PSG, obviously Mourinho was still the manager. And I remember watching the draw thinking, just avoid PSG. I didn't want to get PSG because coming up against Mbappe, a mercurial talent, and Neymar, who is also a mercurial talent, and then Cavani, who's just a robust finisher. He's a clinical box player. I was thinking, oh shit, our defense against those three up front is like hell in a cell. But now the whole swing around, the whole upbeat feeling of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer controlling the club and playing the way that Manchester United should play against PSG, I really do put us in with a good chance of getting into the next round. I mean, it's still going to be a tough tie. I don't know if Neymar's going to be back for the return leg in Paris. Cavani might, don't know the extent of his injury. I'm not too concerned about that, to be perfectly honest. And I'm not too sure about Meunier. But I would think, given a win tomorrow night, a convincing win, I'm looking at 2 or 3 goals. Given the form and confidence that we have in the attacking third, we should put ourselves in good stead to get to the next round. Now, I'm talking about the confidence in players like Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford and Paul Pogba in particular. And after the departure of Mourinho, we really saw those players come out of their shell. I think it was more to do with flair players in general at Manchester United, because you look at players like, obviously, Rashford, Pogba and Martial, they just seem to have not as much confidence, and they seem to be frightened of the consequences of if they failed a skill or if they didn't take a chance. That's me not playing for the next 2 weeks. But now you look at it, Rashford misses an opportunity, Martial misses an opportunity, Pogba misses an opportunity, but they miss an opportunity with a smile on their face. They miss an opportunity and it gives them more confidence to want to put the next opportunity in the back of the net. It's just little things like that which change the whole dynamic of the football team and just make the performances on the pitch 10 times better, which obviously we have seen. I mean, 11 games unbeaten. Everyone's saying, oh, it's just against Huddersfield, it's just against Brighton. But then we beat Tottenham away, we beat Arsenal away. Our next challenges will be against PSG and then Liverpool, which is going to be the toughest test yet. But put Marcus Rashford in his current form up against Thiago Silva or Kimpembe, maybe even Marquinhos, whether they go 3 at the back or not. I think he'll do a very good job. And with Pogba in the midfield, against, I would have to say, Draxler or Paredes, who they just signed from Zenit St. Petersburg, I think we should be able to run the show tomorrow night. It will be a very, very atmospheric night in the Theatre of Dreams, and I'm quite confident, I must say. Now, when Mourinho left, we were 11 points off 4th place, and now the date is, I have no idea, but we are 1 point in the top 4. We are outright 4th place, and we are 6 points behind 3rd place, I think. If you said that to me 2 months ago, I would have ripped you off and called you a fucking idiot, because there was no way that we were ever going to get near the top 4, not even come the end of the season, let alone February. Now we are there. It is ours to lose. When Solskjaer came in, it was like, yeah, new manager, we're going to have reinvigoration, we're going to have confidence for the next 2 or 3 weeks, because that's what happens when a new manager comes in at any football club. But I didn't think that we were able to carry the form and completely change the way we play in such a short amount of time and actually overtake Arsenal and Chelsea. Obviously, Manchester City beating Chelsea 6-0 yesterday helped us even more, because it helps with the goal difference, which is something that we were struggling with. We had a goal difference of -1 when Solskjaer came in, and now I think we have a goal difference of 12. It's either 12 or 16. I cannot remember exactly. Let me just check quickly. We have a goal difference of 17. 17 it is now. And it just helps. It helps a lot. Chelsea are now 6th. Arsenal are 5th. They are 1 point behind us. But now it is in our control. If we don't get top 4 now, I will be disappointed, because it's in our hands. It's ours to lose. But I don't know if it will still be a successful season given the circumstances if we get 5th. It's a sticky situation, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has exceeded all of the expectations that were placed upon his shoulders when he came in for the temporary job, the 6-month contract that he was given. And he's put himself in a position where he is really being considered for the full-time job, because after the Fulham game, his agent met with one Avram Glazer and Ed Woodward. Obviously, I don't know what they spoke about, but it doesn't really take an idiot to realise they probably were speaking about the potential chances of him becoming the full-time Manchester United manager, which is something I wouldn't be against. But I think that these meetings might be happening a little bit too early. I do want Ole to get the job, yes, because first of all, he is a legend of the club. He knows the club like the back of his hand, and he has proven himself to be a worthy candidate. But we're in a fantastic position where we don't actually have to make the decision now. Solskjaer knows what his role was when he came into the club. It was to steady the ship, get us relatively close to back to where we need to be, and then he'll probably go back to Mulder at the end of the season. They gave him to us on loan, but effectively, because he was due to go back. But now he's probably, I would say, the man with the position to lose, because we were linked with Pochettino, who would have cost us 45 million, I think, or 50 million, and Zinedine Zidane, who wouldn't have cost us anything because he is a free agent right now. But when you really think about it, look at the way Solskjaer has changed the fortunes of the club. He's changed the smiles. He's changed the way we play. He's got Pogba back to his best, maybe. Maybe this isn't his best. Maybe he still has potential to fill. And he's got Rashford playing like the player he was playing like under Louis van Gaal when he burst onto the scene. Why? My question is, why would you change this now? Because you can get in any new manager. You could get in someone identical to Solskjaer. But because it's not Solskjaer, they're going to play in a slightly different way. They're going to change. They're going to tinker with a few things. Why would you change something that's working so well? Yeah, we haven't had the biggest test so far. And I say the biggest test. We have had Tottenham and Arsenal, but we haven't played against City or Chelsea or Liverpool just yet. Those are the big tests that I'm talking about. We haven't had those, and we do need to see what Solskjaer's like after a loss. I'm not saying we need to lose a game. I don't want to lose a game. Nobody should want to lose a game. But we need to see what the reaction is like. Say if we come up against Liverpool and lose 1-0, are we going to bounce back? Is he going to crumble under the pressure? We don't know. That's what we need to see. But if he's able to carry this incredible form on until the end of the season and possibly get even third, because I do think Tottenham will drop a few points from now until the end of the season, like us, like we did against Burnley. But if he's able to keep this up until the end of the season, why would you even consider getting a different manager? And it just doesn't really make that much sense, you know. And then a lot of news outlets not over the past month, like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and leaks, I put that in quotes, leaks coming from inside Manchester United are saying that Ed Woodward is a very arrogant man, and his arrogance and kind of overconfidence and lack of footballing knowledge may be why he feels he needs to tie Solskjaer down to a long-term contract right now, because he's in a position where he was the one who made the decision to get rid of Jose Mourinho and employ Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and now that decision is working very well, and he's a bit, oh my God, look what I've done this, I am the reason Manchester United is very good, let me get him on a long-term contract just to tie him down. But we don't need to do that right now. We can wait until the end of the season just to see what it is like after a negative result, if we get any. We should, but I don't know. But one thing that does concern me just a little bit is they could be getting Ole Solskjaer as a cheap way out, because as I said before, as we all know, if we were to get Mauricio Pochettino in, we would have to pay upwards of £45 million to Tottenham. Now, £45 million can get you a new player. It can get you someone else. And you can do something else with that money. And in his press conference the other day, Solskjaer said it's not about spending money, it's about buying the right players and developing what we've got. Because whatever anybody says, Mourinho was not the best fit for us. But we were going to sign players in January. We were going to sign players in the summer if Mourinho was still here. And I just feel like the fact that we've signed this morning with Ashley Young, we've given him a 1-year contract extension. We've signed Phil Jones on a 4.5-year deal, keeping him until 2023. He could get a testimonial at Manchester United, which is awful. I just feel like Ole feels like he needs to just not kiss arse, but basically kiss arse to get the Manchester United job, which means, yeah, I'm going to bow down to Ed Woodward and do whatever Woodward feels needs to be done to get this job. I feel like Ole might just be a bit naive in a way that he might not be demanding a few things, because if Pochettino or Zidane came in, or if any other manager came in, they'll be demanding the £200 million at least in the summer transfer window. I feel like Solskjaer signing these new players to contracts, yes, it might be a financial decision because all players are assets to a football club. I just feel like he might be a bit naive in a way that he'll be accepting of the fact that, yeah, I'm only going to give you £100 million, or I'm only going to give you £50 million in the summer to try and get the best out of this squad. And that's something that we need to be careful of, because if he's getting the job based on the fact that he's an easy one to roll over, then he shouldn't be getting the job at all. We should send him back to mould and bring in Pochettino, because he will demand something and he will get the best out of the board, who haven't been the most supportive of recent managers, and get what he wants, because that's what we need to get back to the top. We need about 3 or 4 top class players to really think about challenging for the league again. Yes, we have 10 wins in 11 games, but no, we can't win the league with the team that we have right now. When you have players like Phil Jones and Ashley Young playing in defence almost week in, week out, it's not going to work. That's not how football works nowadays. Phil Jones panics more than a cat trying to take a shit and bury it on a marble floor. He's so prone to make errors. His match against Burnley, the one that he came in for, he is the reason we drew that game. Both goals were his mistake. The first one, dreadful pass to Pereira. Yes, Pereira lost the ball, but you don't pass a ball to a centre defensive midfielder who is your deepest line midfielder. After he hesitated with the pass, sent Pereira, then passed it to him. He saw the Wood, Cork and Ashley Barnes were going to press him. You don't pass it to him there. And then the second goal, he was in no man's land, and Chris Wood had a clean header. Those are the mistakes that cost us points. Those are the mistakes that Phil Jones makes, and those are the mistakes that shouldn't warrant a new contract. Along with Ashley Young, he's not a defender, which is why I don't understand why he probably will be playing against PSG on Tuesday night. But we should really, really be pushing Diogo Dalot into the right back position, because Ashley Young is not a defender. He is a failed winger. I can't remember how many years, 8 years. I think we signed him in 2011, I want to say. In 8 years at the club, I think, he's only scored 17 goals. As a winger at Manchester United, especially at Manchester United, you should be scoring 17 goals in one season. You should be scoring 20 plus goals in a season, not 17 goals in 8 years. He is a failed winger who didn't hold down a place in his position and played a couple of good games at left back and right back when we had an injury crisis, and now he doesn't want to move. He is not the answer at right back. He is not the answer at left back, and he shouldn't be wearing a captain's armband along with Antonio Valencia, who is another failed winger. We are Manchester United. We shouldn't be playing with players out of position who, just because they put in 100%, start every week. There is a very, very big difference between putting in 100% and having genuine quality in the position you're playing. Yes, you should always put in 100%. But if you have Diogo Dalot, who is a better defender than him, who is a better crosser of the ball than Ashley Young, he should be starting. Yes, he's only 19. But what's the problem? If you're good enough, you're old enough. Look at what we did with Rashford. He's a very, very good talent now. Look at Anthony Martial. We signed all of these players and we started playing them when they were very young. Why can't we do the same with Dalot? Dalot should start against PSG tomorrow night, but unfortunately, because he played against Fulham, that means that Ashley Young got the rest he needed to come in all guns blazing against PSG. Now, Neymar is out of the PSG match, so he won't have to play against Ashley Young, which is, I praise the Lord for that. I don't wish any injury on any player, ever. But the fact that Neymar is out just means that I breathed a massive breath of fresh air, because Neymar against Ashley Young, that's scary. Ashley Young can't defend against Alex Iwobi, and that was shown in the FA Cup at the Emirates Stadium. Iwobi was running rings around Young, and that's just testament to how poor he actually is. Because the only argument people actually have for Ashley Young keeping his place in right back is he's able to beat a man and put in a decent cross. The only reason he's able to beat a man is because he's a winger. That's his original position. That was his job to do. If he was at Manchester United warming the bench and coming on for the last 20 minutes as an impact sub to swinging a few crosses to Lukaku when we need him on, yeah, fair enough, give him a new 1-year contract. But not when he's wearing a captain's armband and starting a right back ahead of someone who is a genuine right back. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And the same with Phil Jones. He shouldn't have been given a 4.5-year contract, because that means we're going to see him for another at least another 2 years. And if you want to win titles, he is not the player we need. Because we all talk about, yeah, we need to sign a centre back. Yeah, we need to go and do this. But when we have 5 centre backs. We have Smalling, Jones, Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly, and Axel Twanzebe, who is on loan at Aston Villa Roman. He'll be coming back in the summer. How do we expect to sign another centre back? How do we expect to sign Skriniar, Koulibaly, what's his name, Kostas Manolas from Roma? How do we expect the board to sanction these signings if they're thinking in their head, yeah, we're already paying 100 and something thousand a week to Phil Jones, 100 and something thousand a week to Bailly, Lindelof and Smalling, but you want to bring in another centre-back that's going to cost us upwards of £50 million. They're not going to do it. And that's the problem that we have. Yes, contracts don't always mean that they're going to stay for the whole time they're there, but a 4.5-year contract when it terminates in 2023, I don't think he's going to be leaving anytime soon. And that's the same with all of our other centre-backs. We have them tied down a long-term contract. Bailly and Lindelof and Smalling maybe are the only centre-backs that we should be keeping. Twanzebe, we have to give him time. I can't say that I have been watching much of him, but he has been very highly rated by the Aston Villa fans and the club itself, and he should be given a chance next year. He should be given a chance over someone like Phil Jones next year in the Manchester United squad. Given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the Manchester United manager, I feel like that's something we will be seeing. Now, we're just talking about signings quickly. There are 3 or 4 players, there are 3 or 4 positions that we need to upgrade drastically in the squad if we even want to consider challenging Manchester City and Liverpool for the Premier League title. Centre-back, we need someone on the level of Skriniar or Koulibaly. We need a new centre defensive midfielder. We need a new right-back, not to challenge Ashley Young, but to challenge Diogo Dalot. And we need a new right midfielder. Now, at right-back, I don't really know who we would be signing, because I can't think of a reasonable player that we would sign when they've just given Ashley Young a new contract. But you're looking at someone on the level of Danny Carvajal. I'm not saying we're going to sign Carvajal, but someone like Thomas Meunier, because we were linked with him a couple of years ago, but unfortunately we weren't able to sign him. If we were able to bring him in, that would boost our defensive abilities quite a lot. Now, going on to the defensive midfield position, I have 3 players in mind: Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Kessie from AC Milan, and Tanguy Ndombele from Lyon. There was a match against Lyon that PSG played a week back. Ole Solskjaer and Mick Phelan, they went to the match. That could, obviously, we were playing against PSG in the Champions League, so they're, scouting the opposition, this and that. They do play in a 3-4-2-1 formation, so that is something that they would have been looking at. But also, you could be looking at the fact that Ndombele was playing in the match, and we have been scouting him for a while, and so was Memphis Depay, who could be brought in to fill the right wing position. Now, it's quite an important thing because, yeah, we do need to scout PSG to see what they've got to offer. Yes, Cavani is out now, so they will be posing a different type of threat with maybe Choupo-Moting. Or there is a centre midfielder that does sometimes play on the wing. I can't remember his name. I want to say Nkeke, but I think it's wrong. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. But scouting Ndombele for the summer, who will probably cost us around 50 million, to take over from the role of Nemanja Matic is something that we do need to do quite drastically, because Matic, he is playing well under Solskjaer. Yes, I'm not saying he's playing badly, but he's just still not the answer in the defensive midfield position. In the modern day game, you need someone who's able to get across the ground quickly. Someone like N'Golo Kante, someone like Ndidi, someone like Partey from Atletico Madrid, someone like that. Because every time I think about the fact that Matic can't run fast or hasn't got quick acceleration, just reminds me of the match against Tottenham when Dele Alli was clean through on goal, De Gea pulled off a great save. The whole time that Matic was in pursuit, he was losing ground. Ali had the ball at his feet and is not the fastest player himself. So the fact that he was dribbling with a ball away from Matic just shows that he doesn't have the legs anymore, and that is not something that we need, because eventually you're going to get to the point where teams will just target him. Teams will just start playing balls around him, and that is something that I'm not sure why I haven't done it just yet. Maybe because of the change of style of football here. They were targeting Matic under Mourinho because we played such a pragmatic way. We were very stiff. We were square pegs in square holes on the football pitch. We didn't have any movement, and that's something that really hampered Matic. But under Solskjaer, he has improved, because not sure what Mourinho was saying to him. Not sure why he was allowing Matic to have 7 or 8 touches of the ball and just be a genuine, like a slug when he had the football at his feet and when he didn't have the football at his feet. But Solskjaer has kind of changed it. But again, it's not good enough. We need some improvement. And then on the right wing, or the right midfield, or however you want to say it, Lingard is doing very well, yes, but we do need an upgrade. Now, when we bought in Alexis Sanchez a year ago last month, I thought, and the majority of us thought, yeah, we're going to get Alexis Sanchez, he's going to play on the right, this is going to be our problem sorted. But he played on the left, Martial got dropped, and we still had a problem on the right wing. Now, I'm not sure if there's something in the Chilean's contract that says I can't play on the right wing, because there's nothing that is more confusing to me as to why he can't play on the right. He played on the right when he played for Barcelona, so he can play on the right. But maybe, I just genuinely think there must be something in his contracts that prevents him from playing on the right wing, because it just doesn't make any sense. We're looking at players like Bergwijn from PSV and Hirving Lozano also from PSV. Obviously, we're not going to sign them both, but we have apparently been sending scouts over to watch their matches. But when you have someone like Sanchez, who, yes, hasn't played well in the year that we've had him, but we need to try him out on the right hand side, because playing him on the left means that Martial, first of all, doesn't play, and secondly, it means that Paul Pogba his area of operation gets intruded on, because Sanchez is a type of player that doesn't run down the line. He doesn't commit the player down the line. He cuts back on his right foot and gets in Pogba's space. Now, I know you're saying, oh, what if he gets in Pogba's space? What's wrong with that? But Pogba is our best player. He's our best outfield player, because De Gea is our best player. And Solskjaer even said that he wants to build the squad around players like Pogba, Rashford and Martial. So why would you play Sanchez on the left? Play him on the right. He's not going to get in Herrera's space because Herrera doesn't operate in the same attacking third space as Paul Pogba. Play him on the left, play him on the right hand side, and just see what he can do. We need to test it. He hasn't even been tested there yet. He scored 3 goals in 1 year for Manchester United. That is genuinely shocking. Yes, he's played bad, but just try him out on the right, because if you don't do it before the end of the season, I just feel like we're never going to do it. And we're looking at players like Memphis Depay, Bergwijn. I even heard a rumour of Chiesa from Fiorentina the other day, and Hervin Gazzano, and Nicolas Pepe from Lille, who is on fire this season. We're looking at 5 of them, but you have Alexis Sanchez in the squad, so just try him out, see if it works out. If it doesn't, fair enough, but you just need to give it a go. And a backup striker. Rashford is our number 9. He wears number 10 on the shirt, but he is our number 9. He deserves to be there, given the performances he's put in recently are that of a traditional Manchester United striker. He makes the runs. He runs down the line. Lingard and Rashford are the perfect combination because Lingard drags the players in. He makes inward movements from the right hand side, not with the ball at his feet, but off the ball movements. So Rashford is able to take advantage of the space on the right hand side, commit defenders, and then Pogba is able to push forward. Lingard is able to push forward as well. Then eventually we have 4 against 3, 4 against 2 on most counterattacks, most attacks, because of the intelligent movement of players like Rashford and Lingard. And that's what Lukaku can't do. We need a backup striker who is similar to Rashford, someone like Timo Werner from Red Bull Leipzig. Someone I can't think of anybody else right now, but Lukaku is just a bull. He is appalling, and that is just a nice way to put it. He was one of Mourinho's boys along with Fellaini and Nemanja Matic, but Fellaini went. When Solskjaer came in, he criticised Fellaini's attitude, and I would have to put that down to the fact that when Mourinho went, he kind of knew instantly, oh shit, I'm not going to be playing anymore because I'm Mourinho's boy. I don't play the way Manchester United want to play. I play the way Mourinho wants to play. And that's the difference. Lukaku played the way Mourinho wanted to play, and that's why he was starting so many games. Yes, he is a good goal scorer. Yes, he's a clinical finisher. But the way we're playing now, he doesn't fit into the jigsaw. He's like a round peg in a square hole. He works sometimes. Yeah, he's able to get on the end of a couple of crosses or get a tap in here and there like he did against Newcastle. But he doesn't offer the same amount as Marcus Rashford. Rashford is able to link up with the play. He's able to hold up the ball. He's 6'1", I think. He's not the biggest in terms of muscle mass like Lukaku, but because of his quick feet and a good first touch, which should be the staple of any footballer, he's able to hold up the ball, link up with Lingard, Martial, sometimes Sanchez if he's playing a Paul Pogba, and get the goals. Lukaku can't do that. Lukaku's first touch it was a joke because it was comical, it was funny, but now it's like a serious matter. He's a professional footballer, self-proclaimed to be one of the best strikers in the world, but he can't control a ball. I mean, when he was younger, we've all seen pictures of Lukaku when he was 15, 16 years old, towering above everyone else. And it kind of makes sense as to why his first touch is so bad. He didn't have to have a first touch when he was younger. He didn't have to work on that because he could just bully everybody else. He could use his strength and pace to get the ball that he couldn't control in the first place. But as you get older, as you get to the Premier League standard, that first touch, you get found out, and he has been found out, and you can just see that when he comes on the pitch, because he doesn't start, or when he does start, he just looks disinterested. He doesn't make the runs. Against Leicester, he came on for the final few minutes, and he just didn't move. There was a 20 to 30 second period where he just did not move. He got beaten to the ball by Johnny Evans, who had to make up about 5 yards. Lukaku just didn't move. He's shit. It's annoying me because I was a very big fan of Lukaku under Mourinho, and I now realise the only reason he was playing so well is because we catered to his needs. He needs to cater to Manchester United's needs. Solskjaer is catering to Manchester United's needs. Rashford is the epitome of a Manchester United striker. He makes runs. He I'm gonna like it's a tricky one because Rashford does need to work on his finishing. He will miss a sitter, but then he'll wrap one in from 25 yards. Lukaku will miss a sitter, but he can't get the chance from 25 yards because he doesn't make the runs. He doesn't have the same movement as Rashford, and that's the problem we have. We paid £75 million for him. We didn't pay £90 million. We paid £75 million for him. We're not going to recoup £75 million. This is something we're going to have to take the loss on and just get rid of him in the summer, because there is no way that over the summer he's going to make up on 8 to 10 years of a lack of a first touch. You can't change that over the summer. He can't. So we need to get rid of him. We need to bring in somebody else. Someone like Timo Werner. I'm interested by the Newcastle signing of Almiron from Atlanta, I think it is. His attacking partner, Martinez, I don't know his first name, but he's someone that is quite good. He could be a backup striker. There's someone that would be happy to sit on the bench at Manchester United and come on in the last half an hour or play in the cup games for us. That's the type of player we need. Maybe Timo Werner might not be that player, but we do need somebody else to take Lukaku's place as a backup striker, because Rashford is our main player up front now, and that's just the way it should be. And there are so many other players that we need to get rid of. Call them Deadwood FC. We have Ashley Young, who needs to go but probably won't go anytime soon. Phil Jones definitely won't be going anytime soon. Chris Smalling definitely won't be going anytime soon. Matteo Darmian, he's one that's on the fence of Deadwood FC or not, because I quite like him, but he just doesn't fit it. Mourinho called him the ultimate professional, and because I think he is. Darmian is an Italian defender. He's an old school Italian defender. So that means he doesn't work in the Premier League. And he doesn't. And the reason for that is he just doesn't get forward enough. He's a good defender. He knows the dark arts of defending. All Italians know the dark arts of defending. Like, he'll trip over in front of someone just to get in their way. Like this and that. He'll pull someone's sock. Not like, I don't know. It's just all Italian defenders are just, I think, better than the rest of the defenders in the world. But if you want to be a Manchester United right back or left back, you need to be able to get forward and be able to put in a good delivery. And I just feel like if he gets too far out of the pitch, he gets a nosebleed because he just doesn't attack. And it's quite unfortunate, because when he came in under Louis van Gaal, I thought, wow, we have like a really good player here. This is going to be a right back for the next 6 or 7 years, maybe even more than that, because he's amazing. But the second Van Gaal left, I don't think he ever crossed the halfway line for Manchester United. And then another member of Deadwood FC is unfortunately Juan Mata. Mata is an interesting player because ever since we bought him, we've never used him the way he should be. We shouldn't have bought him, to be perfectly honest, because he is a number 10. Manchester United don't play with a number 10. That's not the way we play. We play in a 4-3-3 formation with 2 centre midfielders and 1 defensive midfield, not 2 centre midfielders and 1 attacking midfielder. Then Mata would work, but we don't play that way. He's been played on the right ever since David Moyes was here, and he's never been the fastest. He's left-footed, so he cuts in. He doesn't swing in balls. He puts in a fake cross, as in, like, you take all the momentum out of the attack when you cut back and swing a ball in. That's the type of player he is. I'm not saying he's bad, because he's a very, very technically gifted footballer, and he's a very nice guy as well. But I just feel like his time is up at Manchester United, because this season he's been well below his usually very high standards of Mata's number 8 and he always puts in an 8 out of 10 performance, but this season it's always been like a 5 or a 6, hovering around a 7, and I just feel like maybe he should leave in the summer. In the nicest way possible, he needs to go back to somewhere like Valencia, somewhere like Barcelona or Atletico Madrid, because I just feel like it's not really working for him anymore, especially under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he just kind of takes the pace out of the attack. And it is really unfortunate, but it's just like the cold hard truth. And then another member of Deadwood FC is Andreas Pereira. And this is something that hurts, because he's never been used properly in his time at Manchester United. Mourinho killed him off, completely killed him off. He went on loan to Granada, had a great season. Went on loan to Valencia last year, helped them get Champions League qualification. Come back to Manchester United, played in the pre-season, played against Leicester on the opening day of the season, and then he was gone. He was like a ghost. I didn't see him for ages. And it's like when you leave him out for Mourinho left him out for so long, then he would throw him back into a quite a tough game. You can't expect a player to play well at the top of their ability with rust all over them. He was rusty in all the games that he's played. And then one thing that we do have with Pereira is a special type of contract. We, as a club, we like to always put in with an option of 1 year extension in contracts that we give players, like we did to Phil Jones. But in Pereira's case, we can't activate that because the player has to agree as well. Now, his contract is up in the summer, I think, and he hasn't signed a new contract. Now, I think that's because he wants to leave. We're going to lose money on him because he will probably leave for free. But he's just not... He's not turning into the player that we wanted him to be when we signed him from Holland when he was a youngster, because he's just not being given the game time. A lot of these young players under the last few managers have not been given the game time that they should have been given, that they would have been given under Solskjaer now or under Sir Alex Ferguson. And it is quite unfortunate because Pereira is a top talent, and it's unfortunate that we're going to have to see him blossom somewhere else. We're going to see him play regular football in Spain. We're going to see him play regular football in Italy, Germany, even in the Premier League, another team, because he is that good. But unfortunately, we haven't treated him right, and I just feel like maybe it's right to leave because he feels like he's able to show us what we could have been getting here, but somewhere else. And then Alexis Sanchez is a Deadwood FC for me because 3 goals in a year. He doesn't play on the right. Probably not his fault, but I don't know. It's just, I feel like with the money that he's on, £350,000 a week, and you're not, first of all, you're not starting matches, you're not scoring goals, you're not really contributing to the attacking style of play, and if anything, you're disrupting the attacking fluidity of the players that we have on the pitch at the moment. It's just not working out, and it's just, I think it might be time for him to leave in the summer. Now is the perfect time for Sanchez to go to China. He's coming to the end of his career in a few years. He could get a massive paycheck. He could get more than he does here in China. Anyone can. I could go to China and get a few £1,000s a week if I tried hard enough. I just feel like now is the perfect time for someone like him to leave. And it is unfortunate because I was very excited when he came in. The whole piano video of his unveiling as a Manchester United player, it had me on the edge of my seat. I was smiling, but I just feel like it was a very badly timed transfer because Mourinho is the type of manager that would sign a player just so another team can't sign him. He did it with Willian at Chelsea when he was going to go to Tottenham, signed Willian for Chelsea. He did it with Sanchez for us. He was going to go to Manchester City, we signed him. It's a bit of a spiteful dick move, but it's something that's backfired drastically on us because we're paying his astronomical wages and he's not doing anything to help us repay. The only time I can say he's had like a good performance in a Manchester United shirt, and it wasn't even a full game. It was the second half against Manchester City last season where he got an assist for Paul Pogba's second goal, and he crossed it in for Herrera to get the assist for Paul Pogba in his first goal. But even in that game, it wasn't a consistent 45 minutes or 90 minutes. It was a couple of moments in the match which he helped us win. But in 1 year, that can't be the only time that you've had a genuine good performance. It's just not good enough for someone of his class and someone of the type of money that he's on. But those are the players that we need to get rid of in the summer, because if we do want a title, if we do want to challenge Liverpool for the title, we need to get them out and replace them with fresh players like Ndombele, Nicolas Pepe, Timo Werner, players like that. And talking about Liverpool, we do have them on the weekend at Old Trafford. And if there was a better time to play Liverpool, someone needs to tell me, because I don't think there is. We are in top form. We've won 10 of our last 11. We're unbeaten since Oli came in. And I personally think that we can win this game. Apart from earlier on the season, Liverpool versus Manchester United, you can't really call it because form goes out the window. Liverpool aren't in the best of form, we are in great form, but that doesn't count for anything. Paul Pogba, I think, has a massive, massive part to play in this game because he didn't play in the reverse fixture earlier on this season in December, which was Mourinho's final game actually. And I feel like he was a massive miss. Now, hopefully he stays fit. Hopefully there is no surprise injuries to anyone before the Liverpool match, but we are in with a great chance of winning. Yeah, we are free scoring at the moment, but Liverpool, I think they have the best defense in the league. Trent Alexander-Arnold is back as well. He came on against, I can't remember who they just played actually, but he did come on for the final few minutes against their last opponent. Andy Robertson for me is the best left back in the league. So is Van Dijk, is the best centre back in the league. But we have to take advantage of their, I would say, frailty in Joel Matip. I think might be playing. I'm not sure who his centre back partner, who Van Dijk's centre back partner will be. But Rashford, Martial, Lingard, and Pogba need to be on their A game, because obviously Liverpool are top of the league for a reason. They're not top of the league right now. Manchester City are, but you don't get first place by accident. There is a reason why they're top, because they have been, along with City, the most consistent team in the league this year. But it's at Old Trafford. The atmosphere will be insane, and everyone will be behind the squad. Everyone will be behind Manchester United. Solskjaer will have the players playing with smiles on their faces, and they will have confidence. Pogba will have the confidence to think, I can do anything here. I can influence this match. I can win this match for United. So will Rashford, and so will Martial after his world-class goal against Fulham. It was a very good goal. And we have a bigger say in the race for the Premier League title than any other team, apart from obviously Liverpool and City, because we still have to play Liverpool obviously on the weekend, and we still have to play Manchester City. I hope we beat them both, but we're in a position now where we could possibly hand Liverpool or City the title come the end of the season, because I do believe we played Manchester City much nearer the end of the season. Now, a lot of people have been saying we shouldn't be concerned about the title. We shouldn't be thinking, oh, let's lose against Manchester City so they win the title, or let's do this and that. But if Liverpool win the league, it's going to be awful. It's just going to be awful, because I live in Liverpool. I don't know, some of you know that, some of you might not know that, but I wouldn't be able to bear it if Liverpool won the league. It would be awful. So, yes, we need to beat them, but mainly for the fact that it helps us cement the top 4 place, and it helps us close the gap on Tottenham, because we shouldn't stop at 4th place. We're only 6 points behind Tottenham, I think. We should be going for 3rd. And then once we get past Tottenham, we should be thinking, maybe we can put more pressure. We're not going to win the league. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but nothing. 4th place should not be our ceiling, whether or not it might be right now. We should just be going out to win every single match. Obviously, I don't want Liverpool to win the league. I don't want Manchester City. If anything, I want Tottenham to win the league, but they probably won't, because I don't think they have the squad depth or the experience to do so. But we're just going to have a massive say in the title race, and that's something that we need to accept and make sure that we take with full confidence and not let the nerves get to us. And that's something I think we can do, because we are Manchester United. We have players like De Gea, who's won the Premier League before. We have Smalling, who's won the Premier League before. He's as a very good backup centre-back. Matic has won the Premier League before, but the rest of our team, actually Ashley Young has won it before as well, but the rest of our team, they haven't. But that, for me, doesn't matter, because we have the experience of De Gea, Smalling, Ashley Young, and Nemanja Matic. And we have the experience of Solskjaer, who's literally won it all. He is the man who won us the Champions League. He is the man who knows what it takes to win, who knows what it takes to grind out results. He was the original super sub, so he knows what it's like to come off the bench and analyse the game and get a last-minute goal. And that's why I feel like we have all the tools that we need in the toolbox to mount a serious challenge to get to 3rd. And yeah, my gosh, yeah, I know, we're Manchester United. We shouldn't just be happy for 3rd, but we gave the rest of the league a head start. We gave the Liga's half-season head start, and the fact that we've caught up and overtaken Chelsea and Arsenal, they should be absolutely embarrassed. They should be ashamed of themselves. And if we catch up to Tottenham, they should be ashamed of themselves as well. Any team that we overtake now should be ashamed of themselves, because the gap that we had to bridge to get to where we are now was bigger than any gap that we probably ever had to bridge, because it was the worst season. It was the worst start to a Premier League season that we've ever had, and Solskjaer's come in and turned that all the way around. And that's why I feel like, given £200 million, 250 to £300 million, and a couple of years, we will be genuine title challengers again. And that's something that we haven't been for 6 years now. When we last won the Premier League, yeah, we finished second last year, but it was a 19-point swing. it wasn't a serious title challenge, so that doesn't count. But give it 2 years, and we need to let Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be free, and give him the players that he wants. And I think that we could be pushing for the Premier League once again. Hopefully, we win the FA Cup this year as well. Chelsea's going to be a tough match, but I feel like we can get past them. Don't think we're going to win the Champions League, but if we do get past PSG, then we shouldn't rule it out. I know that it might be a bit naive of me to say, yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in, won 10 games in a row, we're going to win the Champions League, but it's a cup competition. Anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. Real Madrid have won it for the part 4 out of 5 years. We could beat PSG. Obviously, I don't know who we're going to come up against, but anything can happen, you know. It's football. Leicester won the Premier League. Anything can happen. But that's going to be it for today's episode of Red Devils Live. Hopefully you liked it. It's going to be a weekly episode coming out every Monday from now until the end of the season at least. If you did like this, and if you do want to, you know, feature on this episode, talk about football with me, whether you're a United fan, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, you know, feel free to message and get in contact, and hopefully I can have some people on in the future. But thank you very much, and I will see you later.